Hey there, Pesidox, indeed. Long time no see. Right, let me get to the appropriate screen here. There we go. How's life kicking you? Intermittent. I'm trying to do a little daily, but it's going to be completely random as to how much and how long I can go for. Now then. Oh there, knave! So Yorkie of the Shire stands before you and asks, are you friend or foe? If foe, then go back to your hellish denizen, my friend, my foe. If friend, then join me in the lands Golarian for more of the tales of Sir Yorkie in Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. And it's good to see you around, young Pestidox, sir. You I know to be friend. And life has its ups and downs, shall we say that? Life always has its ups and downs. Sometimes more downs, sometimes more ups. How is life treating you? Right. When last we left our tale here, we'd emerged from the fight against demons and the crawl through the underground labyrinth into the Deventer's Heart and had a long chat with people. We met this little chap here. A tiefling, just like us. Except he's a little dishonest. Bit of a thief. Overall, life is life. I'm on the path I need to be on, to put it concisely. That one I hear, and I hope the path progresses as smoothly as possible. And he's asked me to take him to the tiefling's hideout, because he's in a little bit of trouble. Oh look, there's a fallen horse here. Apparently, he and his friends tried to rob a magical store. And it didn't go well. He was arrested, everyone else escaped. Now, the boss of the group, Sister Charisme, apparently wants his guts for garters, or starters, or something like that. He'll sneak past enemies. Time for a fight then, I guess. How's the family, dogs? Well, you may note that...
Save the last one for me.
Since last we spoke, I am no longer the cranky old English dude, but rather Yorkie and the Chihuahua. The Chihuahua is currently resting behind me. There is a gap about that much between the back of the chair and my own back, and apparently, if he sits, he fits. We still have the other dogs, unfortunately. I didn't say unfortunately, I mean very fortunately. We still have the other dogs. Let's get into this thing. Good, he missed. And he's down. Right. Let's head out and continue our journey onwards. Do you have any of those strange beasts yourself, Pestidox? I'm not sure. From last time I remember, I don't think you did, but things may have changed in the many months since. And there she is, I assume. Yes, Sister Charisme. And the other tieflings. The basement is dark and dank. Oh, Beagle! I play child support for currently. It's my ex-night. Oh, I am sorry to hear that, Pestidox. I am very sorry. Losing an ex can be hard. Losing a loved one as a pet can also be hard. Then you have your two dogs, Cooper and Max, who live with me at my parents'. Well, I hope it's a loving household. The basement is dark and dank, and you are immediately struck by the hostility of the gathered tieflings. 5 of them are kneeling along the wall, separate from the rest. The tall woman, who had been cleaning her fingernails with the tip of a knife, greets you with narrowed eyes. Brother Waljeff. You got my message then? Sorry, I couldn't swing by earlier, dear Sister Charisme. It was just one thing after another. First I was in shackles, next, well, no, I was still in shackles, and I was being watched. Then the chief come and got me out. I came here right away. I knew you'd be waiting for me. Enough talking, or else we'll be here all night. Fine, I can see them both in time. Then that sounds an amicable break, which is good. Enough talking, or else we'll be here all night. So, we had a clear plan. We were going to wait for nightfall, slip into the shop, grab the goods, and leave. Even if the neighbours called the guard, there was time to get away, but what happened? That bitch Annabeth, not a nice word to call her, showed up almost right away. She knew we'd be there. Somebody betrayed us. And I have a good idea who it was. What do you have to say for that? Make it quick. He was under arrest by Annabeth. What the hell are you talking about? Do you think Waldriff knows the name of the traitor? Charisma turns to you. He speaks. I thought Waldriff only brought you here, so he'd have someone to hide behind if things went south. Yes, he knows the name of the traitor. Every gang that Brother Waldriff has been a part of has very quickly come to an end. Yeah, he did rather tell us about that. He's not been the most loyal person. Either their hideout location was past all the guards, or the competitors found out where they could ambush them. Waldriff is the only one who always comes out smelling of roses. If you think about it, you'll come to the same conclusion as us. And I've said that meant Waldriff was cursed with finding friends among losers and screw-ups. But now that he's with us, that must mean his curse has been broken. That depends. He was indeed most fortunate to find himself in a party with me. On the other hand, he also ended up with a party with you. Camellia, that's not nice. Canabris is burning. Why are you squabbling here instead of fleeing the city? Charisma pursed her lips. I'd be glad to leave like the rest of my brothers and sisters. But in the family, that's what they call their little gang of thugs, or gang of pickpockets, there's nothing worse than betrayal. And it's something we do not forgive. We don't forgive anyone who lets traitors off the hook either. If I don't find the rat, my superiors, let's just say, I'll wish I was burning in Canabris. I want to keep living, so I'm going to take a chance. Until I find out who the traitor here is, no one is leaving. Well, Jeff, why don't you tell your side of the story? What happened? What's there to tell? About a week ago, Sister Charisma got 6 of us together in this very basement. Me, and those other 5 over there. I mean, Waldriff jerked his head toward the 5 tieflings kneeling by the wall. She rounds us up, and she says she's got a score. Ancestries and wonders, the one place no one's ever been able to hit. The place that's guarded by a golem. But now, a powerful scroll would knock out that golem. Just happened to come into our possession. Bit suspicious. Along with a tip-off that the shop owner would be gone on a particular night. All 6 of us know a bit of magic, so we know that any enchanted junk will sell for a pretty penny, so we're in. And the most important thing was that none of us would be hanging about the shop ahead of the job. No casing out the place, no calling attention to ourselves. From either the golem or its master, the job was a top secret. That's all true so far, go on. We did everything right, with the locks and the golem. I picked the lock, I remember it clear as day. Sister Dalna was on lookout. Brother Melroon had the scroll. Doffy, Tavy, Varner brought the sacks. We covered the windows and lit the torches. I remember scooping up rings and tossing them in a sack. And one right expensive one rolled away from me. I crawled under the table after it, and the next thing I know, Beth was there. Everyone scampered. But I was still under the table, not my finest moment. I was going to wait it out, but then those blockheads were dragging me out by my tail and, ouch, put me in shackles. They took off my rings, about 20,000 worth, and to add insult to the injury, I never even found the last one. In the end, I got busted over nothing. So they caught you, poor thing, then stripped you of your loot and didn't even manage to stash anything. Charisma is pointedly polishing a knife. Where's the moon of the abyss, Brother Waldriff? Well, what's the moon of the abyss? It was an amulet. It used to sit on a little cushion in the window of Ancestries and Wonders. Sterling silver, sparkle like a star, fine piece of work. On one side there was a half moon, you know, a crescent, a waning moon. And in the middle was a dark crystal. It was like it was eclipsing the moon. Old man Fileman was so proud of that amulet. He would say, I'll never sell it. It's a jewel of my collection. Waldriff sighs unhappily. I used to go to there to see what kind of treasures there were on the world. There's nothing else to look at in Canabres. People used to claim it was a powerful thing, but who'd say, if you ever stole a thing like that, you'd have guards on you the second you tried to fence it. Everybody knew that you were always hanging around Ancestors and Wonders, drooling over the moon of the abyss. Did you think you could swipe it in all the commotion and keep it for yourself? Did you hope that we'd all be locked up and you'd get off scot-free? And with a fancy trinket to boot. Don't take me for a mug, Woljif. I see right through you. Why would Irabeth arrest her own informant, fool? What took the words right out of my mouth? It doesn't make any sense. If I was a rat, I'd have kissed her on the hand and been long gone by now. You know me, sister. I'm a cautious fella. I'm not an idiot. Why would I go against the family? So the fish in the cellar and have a nice Woljif-sized dinner? One of the abyss is a pretty bauble, to be sure, but it's just an amulet. It ain't worth dying over. You knew where the best people would protect you. You knew you could pin the moon going missing on them. And now you've come here with backup. You knew exactly what I was going to say to you. Only problem is no one's returned the amulet to the fileman. Are you giving her a better cut? Is that it? I think she's got other things on her mind right now. The bloody cities have been invaded by demons. Have you seen her? Do you think she'd take a cut of anything I offered her? She can't be bought. She's like 3 heralds of Eomade, all rolled into one. He speaks the truth. You'll find some knights who'll take bribes, sorry to say. But the best Tirabade isn't one of them. Go on, Woljif. That's the whole sorry story. Woljif crossed his arms and looked affronted. Some family this turned out to be. It's just a name in the end. In a real family, people take care of each other, take each other at their word. Yeah, I wouldn't bet on that in all families, Woljif. Some people in some families are not very trustworthy. They don't throw around accusations. I didn't take the moon of the abyss. What am I going to do with it? You can't sell it to no crusaders. It's a special item. You can't wear it. It'll get nicked. Pretty to look at, sure, but it ain't that pretty. If it's that important to your sister Charisma, I'll find it. And I'll drag the traitor here by his horns. Just so you don't end up at the bottom of the cellar. But do you know what you're going to owe me for that? An apology. Right here, in front of everyone. You're going to apologise loud and clear so everyone hears it. You'll say, sorry, Woljif, you're a good guy. I was wrong about you. Fine. You're one of my people, which is why I'm going to give you some time. But if you run, Brother Woljif, the family will get you wherever you go. You spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, tossing and turning at night, fearing poison in every cup and every meal. Look into the eyes of every tiefling you meet, wondering if their families come for you. You'll have no peace, but one day you'll get tired of running. You'll stop to catch your breath. And that's when we'll get you. Got that? If a way with word system, Charisma. A way that almost made me wet myself, but a way nonetheless. Let's go, Chief. We'll go chat to that scaredy gal, Irabeth. She knows you a little. We can ask her who ratted us out. I'll let you do the talking. Yeah, I'm not sure if she'll go for that. We'll see. We'll find the real traitor. And I'll get my apology. Onward to Irabeth, Chief. Root out the traitor, but be quick about it. Time's running out. I don't want to get chewed up by demons. Yeah, well, let's go then. Quick trip back to the Defender's Heart, the tavern where everyone's staying. And a word with Irabeth. In we go. We're in a tavern courtyard, pop into the inn itself, where Irabeth is. And see if she'll answer some questions. Well, one question in particular. Irabeth rubs her head. Her red and tired eyes, sorry. Any success? There's a traitor I'm trying to track down. Who is your informant among the thieflings? Irabeth arched her eyes, browsed in surprise. Canabris is threatened by a demon horde, and you have enough spare time to help out thieves. Irabeth sighed. I don't like this. But I hope you know what you're doing. I'll tell you everything I know. Irabeth, you're married to a woman who consorts with every kind of low life there is. I wouldn't worry about me if I were you. I did not see my informant's face. He slipped out of a dark alley, handed me the note, and disappeared. Irabeth hesitates as she tries to remember. He had a cloak with a hood masking his face. The long horns didn't fit under it. There should be a guardian golem in Ancestors and Wonders, the shop they tried to rob. The owner gave us the contract code word just in case. The golem itself was destroyed, but the head seems to be intact. So you can interrogate the thing and find out what it saw. The code word is Hand of Ori. The shop's owner must have escaped, but there's a chance you'll get lucky with the golem. Alright, so we know where to go now. Over to the shop, Ancestors and Wonders. And let's chat to the head of a golem. Wonderful. Never mind the city's burning. Never mind there's demons running amok everywhere. Let's go chat to the head of a dead golem. Why not? Ancestries and Wonders. Enter. Well, this place is a wreck. Loot. Little spell. Bless weapon.
Is anyone there?
I hear a voice. Let's just see. Will Jiff? Nope. You're the only one who could be copying that, aren't you?
Now what is that?
Free at last. I thought I'd be flattened like a pancake under that rubble. Much obliged. Damn, I'm not in any pain, but my head is still foggy for some reason. What's with all the hubbub in the city? The name's Finian. I'm a Pathfinder. If there's anything I can do to help, I will.
You sure about that? You're a Pathfinder?
That's right. Finian Dismar, Pathfinder and Crusader. I roam around the world wound wherever my tasks lead me.
You might want to double check that.
But this last while, I've just been hanging around in Canabras, waiting until I'm needed again. I'm bored out of my mind, but at least this shop makes for better lodging than some inn.
Yeah, dude. Sir, Violet, whoever you are. Can help you get ahead in life still. I'm not sure I understand you, Wolfie, sir. Not sure I understand you. Sir? Finian? What I meant was, what the hell are you?
What's that supposed to mean? I just told you. You want to know where I hail from, is that it? Well, I'm from around here, actually.
Oh!
I
get you.
Clan fled when the world wound troubles began. But
I get you. I didn't spot the pun.
Havoc, so I came back.
Or
did you mean to ask about my weapon of choice? My best weapon is every weapon. I'm a skilled and capable fellow, if I do say so myself. I can swing a sword and poke with a spear, but what I am best at is communing with the spirits. They call folks like me Phantom Blades.
You might be a Phantom Blade if that means you're a phantom in a blade. You're a talking weapon, dear boy. What's a Phantom Blade?
It's like a spiritualist, but with a twist. It means that some spirit took a liking to me at some point, and it can
Good to see you again as well, Wolfie Bread. Or Wolf Hybrid.
I don't need any whetstones or enchantments. Doesn't take up space either. Although, to be fair, it's not a barrel of laughs. The spirits that bestow this kind of power don't come from happy places, and they're not exactly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They usually appear after great battles that leave few survivors.
Opinion, the city's under attack by demons.
Wait, what? The last thing I saw was some thieves breaking in here. And then the guards came, everyone was running around. After that, it's a bit of a blur. Right when things got intense, they dropped the cabinet on me. I couldn't even help the owner. I was just lying under the shelves like a dimwit until you came along. If there are demons in Canabras, we must do something about it. The city needs every blade it can get. Hey, do you mind taking me with you? I don't think I can handle this alone. And besides, the more the merrier.
How did you end up in this shop?
I've been waiting here so long I don't even remember anymore. Just sitting and waiting for any word from the Pathfinders, but it looks like everyone has forgotten about me. The shop owner is an old friend of the Pathfinders, so I've taken up residence here.
Alright, I'll take you with me, why not?
I swear you won't regret it. I can do all sorts of things. Is there anything your party is missing? A sword, a spear, a bow? Just say the word.
Let me have a look at you, see what you can do. Oh, we can chat with him here, can we? Start dialogue. Hail to the adventurers. You know I've never regretted following you. You've only just started. Everyone seemed to revolve around you like beavers in... How would you know? You've just started. In a mill wheel. I'll have a lot to write in my report to the Pathfinder Society. Although thinking about it, it's been a while since I sent them any reports. I'm going to talk about you. Sure, go ahead. Do you realise that you're a weapon? What kind of question is that? I mean, sure, the clerics keep going on about every crusader being a weapon of remedy, but I don't speak of myself in fancy words like that. I'm just a lad with 2 arms. You might want to recount. 2 legs? No. More freckles than I'd like. You have none. I choose where to go and whom to fight for. I don't want to be someone's weapon, you hear? Arden is dead, and now everyone decides their own fate. You might want to look in a mirror. How did you become a Pathfinder? I've always wanted to be one. Ever since I was a kid, I remember I'd go out to the edge of the village at sunset and then just keep walking until I got tired or someone dragged me back by my ear. It was like something was drawing me from my home. My clan wasn't the nomadic kind, but before the wound opened, the idea of travelling anywhere would never have crossed my minds. The minds of many of my clan. They were content with their community and their patch of land. But I'd always want to see what lay beyond the bend in the road, over the familiar hill, beyond the horizon. My father, he wanted to teach me to be a shaman like him, but as soon as I came of age, I was off looking for the Pathfinder Society. I found it. In Iz. After 3 weeks of travel on foot. I passed their trials and they accepted me. My father hasn't spoken to me since, but that's all right. Once he hears my great deeds, he'll come around someday. All I wanted was to rush off to some faraway land and find a treasure trove no one else had discovered yet, but I knew I had a duty to Sarkordis. Then the wound opened, the demons, the havoc. In the end, I never went anywhere. But as soon as things calm down, I'm setting off to explore Aslant. I've already decided. Great ancient ruins, that's my kind of life. Being surrounded by wreckage here is depressing, as I'm sure you know. Do you remember anything from before you ended up in Canabres? There is uncertainty in Finian's voice. I mean, a lot of things happened. I remember how happy everyone was when the Wardstone was placed in Canabres. That was some celebration. Finian is silent for a few moments. And I remember when the cultists took me, cut down my whole party and dragged me to their ringleader. Don't know his name. Everyone just called him the Bladesmith. But after that, my memory is all fuzzy. For some reason, he didn't sacrifice me or anything. Just knocked me around. Said he'd been looking for a phantom blade for a long time. Don't remember why. How he escaped what I did, I can't remember that either. Some crusader picked me up in the wound and brought me to Canabres. And that's where I stayed, licking my wounds. Maybe there was a mix-up and now they all think I'm dead. Why else would none of them contact me this whole time? The Wardstone, you say? My friend, what you're describing happened decades ago. That's rich. Next you're going to tell me I've been sleeping for decades. Last year that was. No. Well, maybe the year before. No. I couldn't have been wandering the wound that long. I would have either been dead or an old geezer by now. Nah, quit messing with me. Finian, you need to understand you're not human anymore. Finian's voice sounds concerned. Hey, are you feeling alright? Maybe you need to have a lie down. I'm standing right in front of you. Poke me. Actually, I'm holding you in my hands. Poke me if you like, as human as they come. No. Do you think my travels have worn me down so much I've become an animal? Not happening. My folks taught me to stay human always, no matter the circumstances. Not all circumstances. So remember who I am, and never to shame my ancestors. Anyway, still able to commune with spirits? Maybe I can, only they don't want to answer me. I'm still a spiritualist, a phantom blade, my power is within me. But I have this feeling like I'm separated from the spirit world by some kind of transparent wall. That could be the sheath that you're in. That could be the weapon you're part of. I keep knocking, but no one can hear me, I think. Finian forced a chuckle. Guess all the Bladesmith's torture did a number on me. It broke something inside. Possible. I want to talk about something else. Tell me about the Pathfinder Society. Oh, well, sometimes folks curse our names, calling us opportunists who just want to line our pockets. But that's only part of it. We're travellers, explorers, solvers of mysteries and fighters of evil. I mean, good coin hasn't hurt anybody yet, but for folks like me, it's not what matters most. We're curious to see the world, play a part in everything, stick our nose everywhere. Getting into our circle isn't easy. First, you must prove that you can endure any place you're sent to, that you won't shy away or flee. That's why you'll never catch a long line of applicants outside any society lodge. Every lodge has a venture captain, and they approve your application, you're in. And there are many lodges all over the world, but the main one, the Grand Lodge, is located far away in Absalom. I've never been there myself, but I've heard a lot of stories about it, and about the decemvirate that governs all the Pathfinder affairs from there. Yeah, that's all I want to know from now. But I see that you have this ability. You can apparently become any kind of weapon. Now, she's already wielding a cold iron masterwork. I have my own kinetic earth blast blade. You have a cold iron rapier. And you're wielding a basic longbow. Can you become a longbow? A composite longbow, yes. That gives him composite cold iron ghost touched enhancement. We'll look at those. Add strength to the bonus damage with a bow. And the iron mine deep underground, also known for its effectiveness against demons and fey creatures. Useful. Ghost touch weapons deal damage normally against incorporeal creatures. And enhancement +1. That's a nice little bonus. Oh, by the way, what about you? You could wield the Claw of Jistka. I'd rather you have daggers, but for now you can use that. Some scrolls have been torn apart and some have been trodden by our muddy boots. Time to carry on looking, I think. Got another little beastie weastie. I think we might have a couple of them at the moment, actually. Let me have a look. I've got my... I don't have... I thought I had something wandering around. Let's see. An owl cat. I can take that. It does what? +2 morale bonus to perception and law nature. Okay. Not sure who's doing law nature right now, but knowledge arcana. I think you should have that, Waljif. You should also learn that. Take those off. We'll cast them as needed if we remember.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. Get that out.
I crave for adventure.
No reason to pause.
Open your heart
Always
to
be
me.
ready for the worst.
Alright, moving on.
Wherever my legs carry me.
Whoa, such a complex story. I've just been gardening, dealing with lawyers, and tonight learning to cross stitch. Oh, that's nice. As a kid I ordered last week, got here today. I'm glad you're doing good. Been doing a bit of missing of you. I'm glad to see you back, Wolf Hybrid. I have fond memories of chatting with you. You're a good bloke. You really were. Same with Pestidox. There's a bunch of you old-timers that I still remember. The polished oak shelves once showcased magic rings and amulets. Now all that's left are the grubby handprints of the robbers. And yeah, this is a very deep story.
Backwards.
Oh, there's a little thing there. Demonic heart. Ooh. This must be the broken golem. The formerly well-appointed shop now looks a sorry state. Been completely ransacked. Lying in the corner next to the scorched wall are the soot-covered shards of a clay golem's head. The golem's eyes show the gloom. Master, codeword. Sound of Aurori. Codeword correct. The golem's eyes glow brighter. Waiting orders. Where did you come from? Who created you? This golem was created by Gaffrin and Son, address 3, third building on the right, Jeweller's Alley, Nerosian, Mendev. I don't really care about that. Tell me about any suspicious people who came into the shop in the last week. The golem is silent for a moment. 56 individuals enter the shop. Human, female, old. No male, old. Human, female... He'll be ruling off customers till nightfall, says Woljef. We need to ask it in a different way. Were any of the suspicious people tieflings? The golem is silent for a while. Tieflings, 3. Tiefling male, middle-aged. Tiefling male, young. Tiefling female, young. Grab the young male tiefling. Tiefling male, medium height, short horns, curling backward. Medium length tail. Eye colour yellow, hair colour black. Special observation, annoyed master. Horns, tail. Gee, could it be you? Sounds like me, but it's not possible. I know the security is like here. I didn't come near the place. I give you my word, Chief. No special observation. Subject was unremarkable. There, see, couldn't have been me. Ego's a wonderful thing, isn't it, Wolchef? Describe the middle-aged male tiefling. Tiefling male, medium height, long horns, medium length tail. We know it's the same one, long horns. Medium length tail, eye colour pale blue, skin colour dark, special observations red hair. Oh, that's our traitor. I'd bet your life on it. Not your own life then, Woljeff. Charisma drilled it into our heads that we wasn't to go hanging about the shop. Red hair. Got a couple of gingers and plenty more to get out of a bottle. So much for a special observation. Golems ain't all they cracked up to be, eh? Maybe it's Master knows more. Grab the female tiefling. Tiefling female, above average height, hair long, pale. Tail not observed. Long horns, eye colour blue. Special observations, scar on nose, baldric with gold stitching. I don't know that one, a new arrival most likely. Gold stitching, eh? Wouldn't mind getting to know her a little better. Alright, enough. Where's your master? Philmen Fruliatros. My master is in hiding place. Revealing the location of the hiding place is prohibited. 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 He would likely hold himself up in the basement when the commotion started. The entrance should be around here somewhere. Where is the basement of this place? The basement is below me. I guard the basement. Leaving my post is prohibited. Found out everything I wanted to know. Alright, so we need to move this fool. Well done, lad. Into the basement it is. Some bottles. There. And get some loot from here. I'm sure he won't miss it.
Helpful, am I not?
I guess he didn't escape. He stayed down here. The elderly gnome, so portly be nearly spherical, I resemble that remark, is curled up in the corner of the basement, shaking. On orders, bandit scavengers. I mean, my name is Sir Yorkie, but there are those who call me Circumference. Yeah, makes sense. There were all those things and much more. But before you report to authorities, mind if we have a chat? Calm down, no one's going to rob you. The gnome peers at you. You do look better dressed than the local thieves and ragamuffins. You came here to tell me the nightmare's over. No, it's not. You're here to steal my riches. Get back. The gnome notices Woljeff and his rounded face turns scarlet. You? Woljeff, you dirty little sneak thief. Woljeff? You've been sniffing around my shop for years. Finally worked up the courage to rob me, did you? Get out of here. You and your pals have taken everything I own. Everything already, I'm sure. The gnome seems a little... to settle slightly. My name's Palmer Fruliatros. I was the owner of this shop, but I'm not sure I can claim the owner of anything now. I hope there's at least something left from it. Oh, come off it. Your shop's fine. It's a bit ransacked, maybe, but nothing a bit of spit and polish can't fix. Where were you the night of the robbery? Do you think I robbed my own shop? I was here in the basement. I was told to make it look like I'd left. The watch was very keen to get their hands on those tieflings. They seem to be multiplying all over Golarian. So, of course, I did everything they said, and I've been stuck in this basement ever since. The golem wouldn't move away from the door no matter how much I yelled at it. But then I thought that it was all the good. Somebody came by after the guards and caused a ruckus upstairs, bellowing like mad, taking advantage of my absence. Tell me about the thieflings that have visited Ancestors and Wonders lately. Why should I tell you anything about my customers? You're not from the City Guard or Eagle Watch. Chief, if he keeps digging his heels in, he'll say the word and I'll loosen his tongue. I'm helping the Eagle Watch catch the culprits. So they haven't got the thieflings. Well, the city's finest were on the job and the gnome size. You can't rely on anyone. Ask your questions then if it's so important. Tell me about Woljeff. Feldman's face wrinkles and he says, Waldriff Jeff, though, right? Yes, I've known him a long time. Though I'd rather not know him at all. He's been skulking around my shop for years. You've made a bad name for yourself, haven't you, my friend? Treating the place like a free museum. He always wanted to look at the moon of the abyss. I'd chase him out, but he'd just slink back in again. If he was with the gang that robbed my shop, I'd bet anything he swiped the moon. How come I'm the prime suspect? Whoever betrayed us all, that's the one who got the moon. I want to see it returned too, you get me? I'm starting to have serious doubts about your honesty, Waldriff. Tell me about the red-haired tiefling. Billman falls to thinking. A red-haired tiefling? I suppose yes. There was one who came in, spent a lot of time looking around. It was a person of modest means, I could tell by his clothes, but he asked me to show him some an Asimir-made chain mail. Certainly couldn't afford it. That's when I suspected that something was off. I checked everything after he left. Nothing was missing, and that put my mind at ease. I can't remember what he looked like. I didn't get a good look at his face. All I remember is that he was wrapped in a green cloak, like he was freezing. That's all I have. That's it. With that description, we'll surely sniff him out. Come on, Chief, back to Sister Charisma. We have to, we go to have a good, long shifty. And all my brothers. Tell me about this tiefling woman. A tiefling woman? Ah, yes, I remember now. A noble lady, unlike the tiefling ruffians we have around here. She purchased magical equipment for the crusade, and she promised to come again. If only all tieflings were like that. I'd be laughing all the way to the bank. Alright, I found everything I know. Let's go. Let's split. Back, I guess, to have a word with Sister Charisma. Alright, Charisma. Charisma drums her fingers nervously on the handle of a blade. Well, are you going to tell me who the traitor is? The name of the moon of the abyss that they stole. I don't need anything else. Take a look. The tieflings are tense and ready to reach for their weapons. The only redheads are Melroon and Doffy. The dark-skinned tieflings are Barney, Doffy, Melroon. Doffy and Melroon have straight horns, but Tavy is female. Only Velny and Melroon. Melroon's the only one that fits them all. It's Melroon. You'll pay for this, won't you? And Hampton will get there and get you in the end. Yeah, looks like I called that right, doesn't it? Take him down. Quick and efficient, I like it. Grab him, take him away for questioning. Charisma looked weary, but her earlier attention is clearly lifted. He confessed someone connected to the cult of Baphomet ordered him to steal the moon of the abyss, and the best idea he could come up with was to drag us into it. He got the scroll to take out the golem. He betrayed us to her best so that he could swipe the amulet in the chaos. He thought we'd get nicked, and he'd slink off to meet up with his customer. You've got the moon of the abyss? Let me take a look at it one more time. My whole life I've dreamt of holding it in my hands, if only for a second. He said when he got to the window display the moon was gone. Waldriff, you took this, didn't you? He's lying, of course. I think you're being a fool. I think we all know Waldriff did it. He had time to hand the moon off to a person. Yeah, I don't think so. Can I join the family? Charisma casts an appraising look at you. You didn't do too badly. I'll tell my superiors about you. Charisma withdraws a ring from her pocket and hands it to you. Here. You're not our brother yet, but you got potential, no doubt about it. You've got a nice ring. Chief, you're going to be my little brother. Of course, I'll be taking the biggest cut of everything you bring in for the first while. That's just what the older siblings do in the family. You'll get used to it. I knew you'd spell good things for me. We're going to be swimming in gold. Where are you going now? Clear out this place, the sooner the better. The city's dying. I don't want to die with it. This city would already have died if not for people who stood to defend it with weapons in their hands. So defended, I'm not stopping you. Your city, we've always been outsiders here. Why fight now? What are you going to do to the traitor? Charisma nonchalantly picks up a nail to the knife tip. He'll be tempted to visit his distant relatives on their farm. Think about what he did. Any more questions? I have to go. Good decision. I don't plan to hang around long either. Charisma turns to leave. Sister, Woljif nervously bites his lip. His cheeks are flushed and his tail is swishing through the air. Forgot something. What now? Should be happy to be alive. An apology. You promised to apologise to me loudly in front of everyone. We're all alone now, but I still want to hear it. Well... that. Charisma shrugs indifferently. So, sorry I suppose for being wrong about you this time. Don't think that just because you didn't act like a jerk this one time, it cancels out the rest of your record. And all about you. Till next time, Woljif. Well, that has to be the most half-assed apology I've ever heard. Charisma's eyes harden, but she sighs, alright, fine. Fine. I'm sorry, Woljif. Let's part on good terms. Now how about apologising to me? A flurry of emotions pass across Charisma's face. When she finally opens her mouth, her words trickle out slowly, like each one's a struggle. I'm sorry to you too. To make it up, here. She pulls a key from her pocket and tosses it to you. Now I'm leaving. Tiefling vault key. Not bad. Not bad at all. Woljif watched her go with his tail relaxing. You made some impression on her. I've never seen Sister Charisma back down before. Listen, Chief, when you've got a spare minute, come see me. I've got something I want to discuss with you. For now, let's get out of here. I don't like sitting below ground when a building above is ready to crash down on our heads. I think we might have a couple of things to grab first, my friend. That. That. Some nice lockpicks. And then we've got the vault over here.
Might be trap, might be treasure. My tail is twitching. Must be a sign.
Right, sir.
I hope you appreciate this.
Another ring. I doubt we need the Thiefling's account, but we'll have a look at it. Someone's been raiding their treasury, it seems. Right, what do we have here? Tiefling ring. This ring grants its wearer a +2 competence bonus on trickery and stealth. If the wearer is a tiefling, +3. I think we'll be taking that. And this ring, which we don't know. I don't know what that one does. Well, a quick trip back to the inn, I believe. Enter. Well, Jeff, why don't you just tell me the truth?
What's in wait for me there, I wonder?
Psst, look, Chief, I got something to show you. Ta-da! A real beaut, isn't it?
Makes a double gesture and an amulet on a chain appears in his hand. Silver amulet shaped like a waning moon. How did I know? So you did betray the Thieflings.
That cuts me deep, Chief. You and I saw who the traitor was. It's just that when we robbed the shop, I went in first and took what I wanted. Nothing wrong with that. Although, of course, I did think about hiding the moon and just taking myself off somewhere warm when all this blows over. But only because I want to see the world. Is it a crime to want to travel? Huh? Is that what counts for treachery these days?
Well, I'm sure if she'd found out, Sister Charisma would have helped you travel. 6 feet underground. You really have it the whole time?
Since that night, Chief, Melround didn't even set eyes on it. While he was dealing with the golem, I sneaked past them, and that was that.
Why is it so important?
Do you really not remember it? Oh, I thought you would appreciate it. It's from the old man Fileman, the owner of the Ancient Trees and Wonders shop. It's the pride of his collection. The Moon of the Abyss, an amulet with a rare crystal crafted by an unknown maker. When I think of how much this thing is worth, it makes my head spin.
I mean, searched by guards. How did you manage to hide the amulet?
Thieves have their ways.
Indeed. Why didn't you reach Sister Charisma?
What? So she would slay me right away, you mean? You saw how antsy she was over Canabras and all this. So I did it. I took the Moon of the Abyss. But I didn't go to Erebeth. And Big Sister wouldn't hear my explanations. She doesn't have the time. I even thought I'd hide the moon somewhere, and then when all the noise had died down, I'd go get it and make a run for it. I'm
sure you
sick
did.
of the thieflings. And they never appreciated me anyway.
Why did you steal it? You couldn't sell it.
Why, he asks? It's expensive, pretty. And you know, it's my amulet, actually. Not meaning I stole it, but I mean, this is my inheritance. My grandma and I were poor. All we had was a jewelry box with the moon in it. She used to store it under the floor in the basement, and she'd take it out sometimes just to look at it.
This is another of your fictitious fables.
She was always nicer when she had a few drinks in her, so I could ask her things then. One time I asked where she got it from, and she said it was from a demon. You know, the demon who was my grandfather. He said the moon was to be passed down. My ma was good for nothing and nobody, so that's why Grandma decided to keep the amulet for me. She used to say it would be mine when I grew up. But she couldn't wait until I grew up. She squandered my inheritance when she became a drunk. Took it to Fileman's shop and pawned it. He gave her some coppers for it, and she didn't even haggle. Just grabbed them and ran back to the tavern before last orders.
I suppose it could be true.
I've been going to Fileman's to look at the moon ever since I was a kid.
But I have my doubts.
He chased me away, but I just kept going back, so eventually he gave up. He didn't skimp on security. The place was like a fortress, so he wasn't worried about a street rat like me pinching anything. Even when I got more skilled, I couldn't get any closer to it. One day, I had no one to go with. Another day, there were only oafs who'd never stolen anything more than a church donation box. But when Charisma had planned everything out, I realized I had a chance to get the moon and move away from here. Maybe to Garen. I hear it's warmer there. I've stayed with the family for too long.
Risking everything or some shiny trinkets?
This isn't just some shiny trinket. First, maybe some rich person's just dying to buy it. We need to put out some feelers and see if anyone's in the market. Second, maybe it'll come in handy. And besides, I spent so many years looking at it. I imagine things like, what if my grandfather left something else and my grandma spent that too? Maybe I could have had my own barony already if things had turned out differently. Or got some decent education in the capital. They're all just dreams, but the moon is right here. You've got to hold on to what's yours, Chief.
It's your business, not mine.
Allies, friends, it's all a load of crap. Life brings us together, forces us to make plans, do whatever it is we do, but it's a safe bet that this ain't forever. I might be a traitor, but the others, are they any better than me? Melround had a good reputation in the family. He was trusted, and you see what happened. If you abide by the law, anyone can rob you. So you need to break the law first when no one expects it, and run before you go soft and get too attached. Whatever you think, I owe you. I'm not just a thief. I have my own business selling things. Thanks to you, I'm still in the family, and we have the black market sewn up in this city. It's a good way to sell valuables. So, if you need anything, a scroll or something, just say the word. I have a little portal to our people in Nerosian. You put a note there, and you get what you need. I can't get you anything big, but what they do have is all high quality. Nothing's too good for you, Chief. What's mine is yours.
Butter wouldn't melt in your
Of
mouth.
course.
Yeah, whatever. Your thiefling connection. Bits and bats of things. Nothing too major. Bulk selling. By name. Get rid of that. And I think we're fine. Now. Let's step out. Oh, there's something over there. It's a book, I don't care.
This way.
Right, let's head out. I have one other place that I'm concerned about. I mean, there's lots of places I'm concerned about, don't get me wrong. The place is infested with demons. We need to find the old storyteller. He's at the Little Blackwing Library, we're told, most likely. But also that he's blind and weak, so he could need help. Can't get there just yet, we need to go through the market square. Yes. A quick trip through the market square, then over to the library.
Wherever my legs carry me.
Just don't blame me.
Could possibly create cracks like these. Demons like this. Well, that's not going to create this crack, but it's going to be cracked by us. There we are. And this, I guess, is the crossing that we can build. The divided city. And so we've built a crossing. Good. Let's head out.
Yet another obstacle.
What did we find? Oh, a couple of dretchers. Not lasting long, I think.
Forwards! Backwards!
And out we go. Go save the old man. The wizened wise man. Oh, we're in the library. Oh, there's a hanged cultist there. Have a look at him first. Someone on the road, eh? Who are you?
Wearing a robe? Check. Baphomet symbol around the neck? Check. Crazy eyes? Check. Note to self. Bring a mirror next time to be able to adjust the optimal level of eye craziness. Everything is ready for the experiment.
The woman produces a crumpled piece of paper from her sleeve and takes notes.
An audience. Problematic, but not critical. You there, boy. Stay out of this. It is counterproductive to stand in the way of scientific progress.
Who the hell are you? Apparently you're not answering.
Who's that? I don't know her.
Greetings, boys and girls. I am your sister in sin, a devotee of Lord Baphomet's dark will, and so on and so forth.
She looks like one of us.
But she talks kinda weird.
You noticed that?
Who's there with you?
Who? Oh, them. Just an audience. They don't matter. Consider them a supplementary component of the coming experiment. In the name of our Lord Baphomet, please be so kind as to undertake a little test of your competency in our wicked cause. Let's start with something simple. So here's my first question. What is Lord Baphomet's favorite weapon?
We will not answer to you.
Our lord can wield any kind of weapon.
You don't know, do you?
He wields no weapons at all. He doesn't need any. He just gores his enemies with his horns.
Nah, I'm not
These
going to say
answers are
anything.
wrong. The correct answer is Isergall, a glaive made of red adamantine. This experiment has taken quite a surprising turn. I would never have expected the followers of the great Baphomet to be baffled by such a simple question. Fine. Let's recalibrate the difficulty and proceed with the next question. Please name Lord Baphomet's sacred animal.
A bull. Of course, everybody
No.
knows that.
Yep, and a cow.
No.
None of your answers were correct. The correct answer is an aurochs. It appears the experiment has yielded results which are as unexpected as they are incredible. Baphomet's cultists have not the slightest idea about who Baphomet really is, let alone any in-depth knowledge of his ideology or philosophy. I'm positive that this news will cause a sensation in widest scientific circles.
They're idiots,
Damn
in
it,
other words.
she's right. I'm a shitty excuse for a cultist. And my mother used to tell me to become a plowman.
Hey, take it easy. We've only had 2 questions. You there, come on, ask another one. We'll get the next one.
Ask them more.
Is there any sense in continuing? You cannot answer the simplest of questions. I am ashamed of all of you, as cultists and as individuals.
Please, ask again. I can answer. I'm sure I can.
How do you spell Baphomet's name?
B-A-F-A... Oh, screw it. To hell with Baphomet. I thought it was gonna be fun, but instead there are all these questions. I'm done here. I'm going back to my home village.
Not
to
the
my
smartest
mother.
individual, are you?
Hey, wait! You there! How dare you stir up discord in our ranks? Grab her and tie her up! And her entire entourage, too!
The experiment is complete. Unable to deal with the questions, the cultists decide to deal with the examiner instead. A typical reaction for a person who has never been burdened with any intelligence. Now you're gonna start hitting each other, aren't you? Please, proceed. I won't interrupt.
Indeed.
Find trouble? No, they did.
Right. Well, Jeff.
Cover me, all right?
Lan.
You won't survive me.
Sealer.
Into the fray!
He's down. I'll take him on with you, old Jeff.
Behead!
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
One.
Endure this.
And Camellia, can you try and take that one down?
All I see is blackness.
No glory without risk!
May I see your entrails, please?
Distract them from me.
No, down.
Make every strike count.
The inheritor, guide my blade!
Let the attack commence.
Time to share your treasures.
Lan, you want to finish them off? Good. The absence of an answer is an answer too. Indeed, if you say so.
The the result is statistically predictable, especially considering their intelligence level. What about you, boy? Are you ready to answer some questions for the good of science? Let's proceed with the experiment. My first question is simple. Which colors does the goddess Iomade prefer?
Yeah, absolutely certain it's red and white. Well, there you go then.
This answer is correct. It is comforting to meet at least one educated person in the melting pot of ignorance that is Canopus today.
You're an elegant little fool, aren't you,
Let's
Ninio?
proceed. Did Aradin take part in any crusade before he died?
No, I don't believe he did.
Your answer is correct. Aradin's death dates to 4606, and that is precisely the year when the World Wound was opened. The First Crusade started back in 4622. Your knowledge would make Mendev's Crusaders proud. My final question is, what is the title that Aurilu Vorlesh bears? Is she the Architect of the World Wound, the Lord of the Labyrinth, or the Border Acquisitor of the Shapeless Abyss?
I don't know the answer, but I think the odds that you are lucky enough to have only 3 options to choose from. Could be architect. Lord for a woman, maybe, but I don't think so. Border acquisitor, well, that sounds just stupid.
That's correct. Most excellent. You successfully answered all of my questions.
Good.
Splendid. Amazing. This is a breakthrough. I thank you for your cooperation. It seems to me that I owe you an explanation. My name is Nenio. I am an explorer, a pilgrim, a yet-to-be-recognized scientific luminary, future author of the great Encyclopedia Golarianica, and rector of all Absalom's universities at once. Future rector, I should say. I also know several spells.
Okay. What's with all the questions?
It is so heartening to see you strive for knowledge. I have been conducting an experiment comparing the intellectual abilities of the average cultist with those of the average crusader. And I must admit that you passed the test with flying colors.
Naturally.
This does offer a glimmer of hope for the future of Crusade. I have always claimed that despite the popular beliefs about the limited intellectual abilities of those in the army...
You really do want to slap, don't you?
...considered educated. It pleases me to see that I was correct.
So you're trying to say that I'm mediocre?
Yes.
That wasn't the answer you should have given. Why do you keep calling me boy? I have a name, you know.
I apologize for an injury to your ego, but your name is irrelevant on the grand scale of the universe. Thus, it cannot possibly interest me. I will forget it as soon as I hear it. To avoid unnecessary confusion, I'd prefer to not know it at all.
Young lady, sweet maid, how can I say this? If you don't stop, your existence may be irrelevant. Cannabis isn't safe right now. Shall we join forces?
Do you wish to become my follower?
No.
To accompany me on my expeditions to the World Wound? To assist me in my experiments? To run errands for me, perhaps?
No.
Even to write down my deepest thoughts for the benefit of future generations? Oh,
You're not
splendid.
getting it, are you, Nanio?
Of course, I agree. Truth be told, I have no money to pay you. But you will be aiding the progress of science, and that is its own reward.
If we join forces, you'll have to follow my instructions during our expeditions.
Huh? What? Oh, yes, the dangers and these battles. Of course, I will follow your orders. I place my life in your capable hands, so I can focus on the things that really matter.
I agree, your life doesn't matter.
Excellent. You're hired. To think that I finally
Aaron.
found someone to accompany me.
Good evening.
27 Crusaders
Very much
said
evening for
no.
me as well. It's currently 10:20.
One of them saw the undeniable appeal of my offer. Your first assignment is to take me to a safe place. I have to admit that today's experiment has left me quite tired.
How are you doing, good lady? I, Sir Yorkie of the Shire, bid you welcome to my path upon Golarian in Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Right. It seems we picked up someone else.
Can't hide from me.
Stroke of midnight, 12:20. Ah, then you must be on the east coast of this fair land. if it can be still considered fair after recent judgments. However, such politics are not a thing I shall dwell on this channel. Off to see the hanged cultist. And collect a little bit of stuff there. Then over to the Blackwing. Spotted enemies, let's fight.
Trail me.
Oh, heartbeat quickens.
Mind over muscle.
Cover me, all right?
Die! Die! Die!
Yes, indeed. I tend to use turn-based options until it's easily winnable.
Won't survive me.
This may actually be easily winnable at this point. In fact, I believe it is. But then I let them take over and just do it themselves.
What's in wait for me there, I wonder?
Now, onwards we press. The Blackwing. There's a lost bag. Let's pick that up first. Maybe it could be one of those two bagged heroes, Versace or Gucci. Let's go in.
This way.
A stocky knight with a head of messy black hair stands before you. His armour is spattered with blood. He greets you with a deep, booming voice. Ah, Crusaders, Excellence, I am Captain Cheleb Sazamel, and these are my men. I am about to burn these vile backstabbers and heretics here. These pathetic imitators of the traitor Aralou, who tricked their way into the ranks of the Crusaders. The knights nod in the heap of severely beaten people and strange elf, whose appearance seems jarring for some unknown reason. Sazamel bellows threats to the prisoners, who seems to be in a state of shock and utter terror. The knight's left eye is twitching suspiciously. It's either a nervous tic, or he's winking at you. What could that even mean? A feeling rises up from within you. It's pure instinct. You don't know what you're about to do. It's certainly the right thing. Take a closer look at the ruthless Crusader. Crusader's nostrils flare and fury sparks in his eyes. He looks truly angry. Examine their armour. You notice that the emblems on the armour of the two silent Crusaders belong to the Order of the Flaming Lance, but Cheleb's armour bears the sigil of the Order of the Sunrise Sword. Strange then that he introduced himself as their captain. Something's not right here. I have a little tickle at the base of my soul. Something that I'll find pleasing to keep my heart whole. Idiot, stop! Heed my command! In the name of Baphomet. Listen to me, and all you will get. The words fly out of your mouth before you can even think of them. Some gut instinct told you that this is precisely what needs to be said in the moment, and the words hit their target. The Crusaders jump in surprise and look at each other in terror. Waldriff glares menacingly at Cheleb. Didn't you know, mortal? We're everywhere. Cheleb leaps to attention and backs out. Sorry, couldn't have known. We'll fix it right away, sir. An inexplicable feeling of brightness flows through you. You enjoy seeing the look of oafish terror on the face of the Crusader and his lackeys when you rebuke them for their fecklessness. Stop wasting valuable fuel, you reckless fool! If you like burning books, go to the great garrison library. Our enemies might try to sneak in there. Step to it, or I shall cover you in deep wit. There's plenty more where that came from, sir. I'll do everything you've ordered, and just as soon as those crusades arrive, they'll be dead meat. I'll go make sure that we get make it another 2 barrels of alchemist fire from the Gay Garrison storeroom. Things are going to burn right up in there.
Wherever my legs
Now,
carry me.
for those of you who are hoping to see me read and read and read books, I'm afraid that's something that I just don't do. Now, I do know from earlier experience that some of these books are actually quite valuable in that they do give you extra skills. But obviously it doesn't require me to read them aloud, but it will require me to open them and look at them. So I will be doing that.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
What's in wait for me there, I wonder?
Alright, so let's have a look at the books. In Elder Scrolls Online, there were tons of books to collect. I couldn't stop to read them while questing. Yes, exactly. It's great that they put all this background in there. But it's not necessary. And I did learn some things. I need to check something. Nothing. I had a ping from real life, but thankfully it can be ignored for now. Lazy Amadei, we're saved. A blind elf stands before you. He looks extremely strange. His face wears its years heavily, which is unusual for members of his race. Thinning grey hair, ragged beard, sightless, milky eyes, pale, papery skin covered in age spots, a spine curved by the passage of time. This is not how elves typically age. The youth that graces the faces of the elves, even on their deathbed, has totally abandoned this decrepit specimen. That is an elf with a beard. I guess the worst can be found even among the best. A bearded elf, how very intriguing. If you please, I would like to pluck out a hair of that phenomenon manifesting your chin. In the interest of science, of course. But anyhow, sometimes things are inappropriate. The old elf holds out his hand in your direction, in a perennial gesture of the blind, greeting you with an unexpectedly strong and calm voice. Hello, I am Storyteller, and I wish to thank you for my rescuers. That is you, if I'm not mistaken. Storyteller, huh? That's the first I've heard of a venerable old-timer like that having a street name. Who are you? The old elf frowns. I prefer people to call me Storyteller. It very accurately describes the sphere of my occupations and interests. In most of the places I've been, I am known by that name. Let's talk about something. The old elf responds with a dignity and courtesy, but firmly. In thanks for your rescue, I of course will render you a service in turn, whatever it may be. However, at this moment I wish to be somewhere safer than the present surroundings. My recent adventures have fatigued me greatly. I would be grateful if you could help me to a safe shelter of some kind. That can be done. Typically, you do someone a good turn, and instead of saying thank you, they just ask for more help. Go easy on the old elf, he's had a rough go of it. Yeah, because we've had it so easy. Stop whining, Woljif, I got you out of the fire, didn't I? We can't not help him. If it was up to me, Grandfather Elf, I'd throw you off my shoulder. You'd need one first. There's no place for old folks. I'll help you in a moment. First, I want to talk to these people. Claim. The young man with the aristocratic features wipes the sweat from his brow and gives you a courteous bow. Allow me to introduce myself, Brother Claim, at your service. Thank you for helping us. We thought we were doomed to perish. Who are you? We are Crusaders of the Order of the Flaming Lance. Our order dedicates itself to the pursuit of hidden knowledge and magical methods of fighting demons. We are searching for our leader, Sister Miyamir, the scholar. She spent the last few weeks here, working day and night on some important research. When the demons attacked the city, we rushed here to find her, but it seems she left the city shortly before the attack began. Miyamir? I don't recall the name, which means her scholarly contribution cannot have been significant, and yet her actions do intrigue me. If the opportunity arises, I would like to find out what experiment she carried out. Miyamir just left the city, leaving no word of where she could be found. None. She left in a hurry. Oh, I got Songs of a Crusader, okay. Why, I have no idea. The only thing that may serve as a clue is this book. The one that she was studying. Tonight holds out the other leather-bound tome to you. Mimir's note mentions something about a stone book belonging to the druids of Sarkoris. What does that mean? Stone books. The druids of also Sarkoris used to use sacred trees as books. They carved their secret knowledge on the bark. When the demons came, the druids resorted to dark rituals that turned the trees to stone, and the druids themselves into undead, doomed to guard this stone library forever gone. Library grove forever. But that happened far from here, in the Stone Wilds. Is it possible that's where Miyamir went? Or maybe she found one of those trees somewhere nearby. I don't know. How did you end up in this trap? That traitor met us at the door. He seemed faithful, passionate crusader. We didn't suspect a thing until they attacked us from behind and knocked us out. We didn't expect such trickery. Most of our order brethren are dead. We were desperate to believe this man in armour was a fellow crusader, a comrade. While we were unconscious, they removed our armour and tossed us on the pyre of books. What macabre blasphemy. Ain't it always the way? You start to think you might be able to trust a man, boom, he goes and stabs you in the back. But if you never trust anyone, then you'll soon become a killer, just like Holden. That's hardly better, is it? Ah, don't start on that now. Fine, you convinced me you can trust people. But only one in every dozen, I'd say, and not for long even then. Who is the elf with you? Is he a crusader as well? No, he calls himself Storyteller, and they only recently arrived in Canabres. We often saw him in the library. He was interested in writings about early Sarkoris and the era before that. It seems a traitor caught him in the library and decided to kill him, along with the rest of us. The young man's voice drops to a polite murmur. Have you ever noticed that Storyteller is a little odd, even for Canabres, where you can meet the strangest people from the farthest corners of the globe among the Crusaders? Have you ever seen such a decrepit elf before? Not just old, but ancient, with a grey beard like that. Elves don't tend to grow beards, I thought, and they don't have wrinkles. An elf with wrinkles and a beard. A detestable absurdity. Hold on there. A beard isn't the worst thing a person can have growing their face. You should see some of the people back in my village. I can imagine. The worst thing growing on your face is your mouth. Please try to open it a little less often. Camellia, you're a rather rude girl, aren't you? Lan clenches his teeth and turns away with a dismissive wave of his hand. Go to the Defender's Heart. Those who are ready to fight back are gathering there. Alright, they're leaving. And we're going to Defender's Heart with you. Right, well, with that done, I'm afraid it is time that Sir Yorkie took a trip to the Night Realms for a little shut-eye. My friends, I thank you for joining me. I will stream some more of this when I am able. It may be daily, it may be much less than that. Real life doesn't leave me a steady timetable anymore. For now, thank you for joining me. If you are friend, if you are foe, then why are you watching me? Go back to your abyss. Nice little see you, and on. Fare thee well.